Hey, what's going on, everyone? I hope you're having a great day and a fantastic week going for you. Today, I got a nice little video that's not a reaction, so this will be actually the first video up on the channel that is not a game reaction, so I'm super excited about this. So, the topic I wanted to kind of go over today was the fact that how my coaching experience and me being a coach has impacted my fandom, or per se, or how I look at games, how I break down games and everything, and just got to get a feel and how it dictates into my reactions and everything, how it plays a huge. For those that do not know, I coach the sport of lacrosse, and if you don't know what lacrosse is the oldest sport in North America. It was founded by Native Americans here, and they used to play it as a nice little how to settle disputes between tribes and everything, but it's got a stick, ball, you're going 10 on 10, so it's a nice free-flowing game. It's kind of like hockey, but with some football/soccer, whatever you want to call it, elements thrown into there. So for me as a coach, I like to think that I'm in the Eddie Howe mold, that I'm always studying. I'm always looking up things on YouTube, how to improve my game. I'm always just on that grind to try and improve myself. When I was in university, I was taking coaching classes for other sports to see if there's any type of ideas I could bring from that and throw it over into my game plan, my practice plan for lacrosse. And it's a best way to just pick others' minds and see what kind of philosophies they bring to their team, because I know Eddie Howe is a huge proponent of that one. He is always talking to other managers. He was always looking at practice film and stuff for other teams, say over in Spain. There's a couple other countries that he was doing, but he was always looking to reinvent himself, to always improve on what he already knew, and just was an actual, just a stout student of the game. And that's kind of how I like to feel I am as a coach, because I'm always trying to better myself. I'm trying to improve anything, because if you just do the same stuff over and over and over, the players will tune out and they'll be disinterested in what you're trying to teach them, what you're trying to and it just, everything becomes redundant, and it's not a good positive atmosphere for the players, your coaching staff, and everything like that. So you always have to try and reinvent yourself, especially say when you're a team in the Premier League like Eddie Howe was. Like, that style when we first came up, it's not going to translate to how we are going to play in year 4 or 5, because that wasn't a sustainable way of playing. So he always tried to look on improving on that defense aspect. So that's just one of the things that I pride myself on as a coach myself, is always trying to improve and not to just sit and just be okay with where I'm at and everything. So I'm very proud of myself on that. And that kind of thing leads us into the next section, which I wanted to get to, is what probably every fan's favorite post-game thing is, hopping on the dumpster zone, also known as Twitter, where you'll have it's Jekyll and Hyde reaction when we play well, and then when we play terribly. So say like our last game, we were playing great and everything. We scored multiple goals, so it was great to see from all the players and everything. And then the Twitter feedback was outstanding. There was night and day from when the Sheffield Wednesday game, when they were it was a dumpster fire. That's being nice about it on Twitter. Even myself included, what I saw and all that. An interaction between fans and everything can get sometimes heated and everything. And I personally think that's okay, because I'm a big component of debating with one another on this, long as it's not getting like name calling and everything like that, because I always, like I said, I like to learn. I like to see where other people are coming from and everything. And I just think, this is just my personal opinion, but my reactions, and I think some fans are, I don't know how to put this per se, but like, they're okay with being in the championship. And hey, if that's you, that's okay. That's fine. I have no issue with that, but you have to, my reactions come from expectations. And the board at the club has made it quite clear that they want to try and get to the Premier League as fast as possible. So, and my personal view, it's probably this year or a huge break, because we have a lot of players on one-year contracts. You look at Steve Cook, who's been outstanding at the back, Adam Smith, who I know some are 50-50 on, but he's an important part of the group and everything. We lose Junior potentially. So there's more players on one-year deals, but it's getting thin. Asmir's, I think, on 1 year left, so it's like the main core group of players, King as well, that are on 1 year players. So we have this solid squad, and you, in my personal view, you have to be looking like we need to get up to the Premier League this year, and that's what the board wants too. So a lot of these harsher reactions, say from myself or others, are based around that kind of expectations that we need to be getting up to, we need to be playing well enough that where we can get promoted and not just sit in third, fourth, fifth in that playoff spot, or even just below, outside, whatnot. I know we're looking good in the table right now, but as a whole right now, the whole league hasn't been playing well and everything. So, but my kind of personal, as a coach, like I was saying, I'm a perfectionist. So like, it's all dictated on my expectations for that team, what we at. So if there was 1 year when we had just started our lacrosse program and everything, we had a brand new team and everything. So obviously expectations weren't as high, and we ended up unfortunately not winning a single game that year. But I saw the potential in those players, so it's like I wasn't getting frustrated at the losses and everything. I was more focused on how they were playing and not the end result. And personally, I think a lot of the fans are seeing the end result, like points per game and everything, how we're picking up. We're, third in the table as this recording, I do believe, and not looking at how they're playing on the field, which is leading to that result. Well, it may be getting points right now, but when teams start getting used to playing it, you get in form during season and everything like that, and they start to like catch on and everything. Like, will this style play and how we're doing right now be sustainable? Will we kick on? Will we not? So it's just all about that expectations and everything. So that's just because for me as a coach, there are times when I had a fantastic team, when we were winning a bunch of games and everything, but say in games where we would win, but it was against a lesser opponent, and we played like absolute garbage that game, I would be on them. I didn't care about the win. I mean, obviously, I enjoy winning, but it's about their play, because I know when they come up against better opponents, how they're playing right then and there is not going to be good enough. But when we are playing against a better opponent and say we lose, but we had a fantastic game as a team and everything, I'm quick to praise them and tell them like, hey, that was probably one of our best games of the season and everything like that, because that style of play, they'll keep improving, just like how we will during the season, throughout the season, as we get the chemistry builds and everything like that. So it's about that effort you're putting in, that team effort, the players are, and everything, and just you're hoping that they will improve throughout the season. And I thought the last game was a huge bright spot in my opinion, because the effort was there, and because you saw in the Sheffield Wednesday game, like, the effort wasn't there. They weren't trying. They were like bickering at each other on the pitch and everything. So it's about, one, that expectations, like I said, like, we have a fantastic team, so that expectation we absolutely should be competing with that automatic promotion slots of 1 and 2. It is what it is. I know I understand that the league is hard and it's very difficult to play week in and week out, multiple games a week and everything. But we have such a talented starting 11, in my personal opinion, and the board feels that way too, that we should be in a promotion hunt, an automatic, which we are right now. But like I said in one of my previous videos, is that how we were playing before, outside the last game? Is it repeatable? Is it sustainable? And how we're going to make some changes and everything. I'm not sure, say with Cook being suspended and us going back to a back four, if we will continue to go that. So it's always, we'll see how we kick on for the next game, what our formation will be and whatnot, because with how you knew what you're getting week in and week out, who the starting 11 was going to be, how we are going to play and everything like that. So, and I mean, I get it. It's a new coach and everything. So we're seeing how we're going to be playing week in, week out. And with the new coach, could it be changing things, trying to fit a bunch of new players that were injured last year, trying to build chemistry, getting rid of the old guard and everything. So it's just one of those things. Obviously, I said to continue watching on to see if we do kick on. But like I said from the beginning of this little section is the expectation part. So I have high expectations for this team. So my reactions, how I look at each game is going to be based on those expectations. And I know some people say, hey, I'm wrong for that. Hey, I shouldn't do this. Give it more time and everything. I understand that. That's personally fine. But like I said, I'm a perfectionist. I'm looking at this team that's very talented and saying we should be up there, which we are right now, like I said, and just seeing if it's sustainable and everything. So like when we're playing those teams that are towards the bottom, like Wednesday, we shouldn't be playing like that, in my personal opinion. So it's just going forward, we'll see how everything shakes out, if we can catch on. But like I said, it's the expectation part that dictates a lot of my reactions and everything. Because when you're playing well, you're going to win more often than not. Of course, you'll have some unlucky breaks where you're playing well the entire game, then you just do a random slip up that causes like a penalty, or they do a worldly free kick. But a lot of those times, I'm not saying it's just luck, but there's skill involved and everything. But like if you're playing well, you're going to win more often than not than when you're playing bad, when you're just scraping to just get a point or maybe 3 points, because overall you're going to keep grinding and grinding. And if you're playing not that well, it's going to be harder to pick up those points than when you're playing as a team, a unit, and everything that we saw in the last game. And you're going to win more often than not, because and at the end of the day, we like seeing them win. We like being excited, and because we're happier. We're in a better mood. We're happy with the team when they're playing well, and we're winning. I mean, because I think I can be the voice of pretty much every single fan when they say that, hey, we're okay with losing games, but as long as we see them working their asses off, and kind of fighting for those games and everything, working as a team and just playing for that badge instead of playing for the individual, that we're happy with what we're seeing on TV and everything, or when we're at the game, when that comes back after this pandemic. So like at the end of the day, that's what we want them playing like, is hardworking team that plays for each other and are going to grind until they get that result, instead of just lazy football where they're playing for the individual and not for the team. So kind of looking at it, that it's, I know some will say that I'm putting too much of my coaching on the fandom, that it's kind of ruining the fandom and everything, and that, hey, that's okay. Like I said at the beginning throughout this, is I'm a perfectionist. I personally feel like that's a huge upside when being a fan and looking at like how can we improve and everything. And it's made me, create this channel because I want to get how I talk. I want to break things down. I want to do all of that. Just come from an outside point of view. And I absolutely love being a fan of this team, and with the highs and lows. And it's frustrating, but that's part of the fan experience. So like I'm a Cleveland fan. That comes with misery. Like I got the Cleveland Browns right here, Cleveland Indians, Cavs, with LeBron leaving multiple times and everything. It's just heartbreak, and all of that is part of the business when you're a fan. And it's that emotional roller coaster I wouldn't trade it probably for anything. And I enjoy, and I like trying to critique it and everything like that. So it drives me to be better, to be what I'm looking for on the pitch and everything, how we're doing behind the board, like what can we do when you're breaking down finances and everything. Like it just drives me to be better and everything, and do more research, and just makes me a smarter individual, I would say. But hey guys, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me and listen to how my coaching and everything has kind of impacted my fandom. Comment below if you guys are coaching, and it's kind of how that's kind of dictated your fandom and everything like that, because I love to hear from your guys' story and your guys' point of view. But at the end of the day, I know I talked about Twitter being a cesspool and everything, but at the end of the day, we all have that one common goal. We want to see the Cherries do well, and we all have the different points of view. So even if we're having debating on Twitter, it's okay to hear different point of view from your own. Like I said, just don't get nasty. No name calling and everything. Keep it nice and civil because, like I said, we all want to see Bournemouth do well and win a lot of games and get hopefully promoted. I know there's a couple fans out there that are just like, hey, we want to win a games, but we'll deny the promotion and everything. But hey, that's the beauty of it. You're allowed to have your own opinions. But thanks for hanging out. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can see more videos by me if you're liking what you're seeing so far. So I'm hopefully going to do more videos outside of just reactions and everything. Hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm, though. So hopefully I can get more viewers in here and make this kind of a nice community page and everything. If you guys want to hear me just ramble on about different things, which I enjoy, even if it's 1 view or 20 views or 3,000 views, maybe one day in the future. But hey, guys, I enjoy what I do. Thank you, and hope you have a great rest of the week, guys. Peace.